I would say everyone has got their opinion as to what went down during the Oscars. So we're talking about Chris Rock and Will Smith. I know that some people would want to, bring up their own sensitivity or bring up their own sentiment as to what happened on that day. So if you are lost as to what I'm talking about, let me share you the story. Let me give you the whole gist. So during the Oscars, Chris Rock was to present an award for a certain documentary. And then during his presentation, he made a passive joke, which was targeted at Jada Smith, that is Will Smith's wife. He talked about the J.I. Jane sequel.
Yeah.
And if you have seen that sequel, if you have seen that movie, I think the lead actress had her hair bald. Right?
Yep.
Had her hair bald. And of course, he was talking stylishly or referring to Jada when he made a certain joke. Now, Jada had a certain or has a certain condition that has to do with her hair.
Yeah.
It's called, let me see if I can find that. It's called why am I finding it difficult to say? Alopecia.
Yeah.
So that's
Alopecia.
it. She has this condition called alopecia. And she's been diagnosed in 2018. And so her hair has been falling off. And we all know that she's bald. Now, that comment came somewhat insensitive. So I saw the video of how, they were both taking it in. He was laughing at the time that his Will Smith was smiling. And after a while, I saw Jada's face, she wasn't so pleased about it. She felt hurt. I could see that from her expression that she felt hurt. And, laughing and giggling, Will Smith stood up, went straight to Chris Rock and gave him a resounding slap. Hit him on the face. Now, people are talking about
That's what they call lighting.
He gave him the left hand.
Left hand.
But some people are not happy as to how
That he
Will
abused
Smith assaulted Chris Rock. And some people are of the opinion that, he's a comedian. Comedians joke about everything. And so you could have just taken it as a joke and let it slide. Why some people are like, no. It was okay in the sense he had to set the record straight. You cannot hide under the guise of being a comedian and, just spit out nonsense.
Absolutely. Do you think, we wanted to talk, if you heard the story, further story, do you think that comedians hide under comedy, under jokes, to say very hurtful things and get away with it? Do you think that should be encouraged? Because some people go back, they have to deal with a lot of things just thinking about what was said about them or to them or their tribe or their, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you think that even in Nigeria, the comedians take it too far sometimes? Did this have to happen for someone to say, you know what? Yeah, you have to watch your tongue.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes you be in a crowd, you almost melt when a comedian says something about someone who's right there. And that's one hand. So what is your opinion on that? Should comedians really watch themselves? Or, is comedy not joke I do?
Joke, yeah.
In Nigeria, they have sense. They use very... Nigerian
After
comedians.
going all out and they say, not joke I do.
They'll be insulting feeling and say, not joke I joke.
But Chris Rock actually did say that was a joke.
Yeah.
That was just a joke. He said that it was a joke. But I'm just like, no. That's too far.
But some people think it's not far, really. A lot of people still think that, it's just a joke. It's Chris Rock.
It shouldn't
it's Chris Rock. His mouth now. He's just like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is like the king. I can't say I wish he was the one that was slapped, but because he's the guy. He's the guy that doesn't give an F, about whatever. He says whatever he's got to say, however he says it.
Yeah.
In fact, he's on stage with a cigar. Just to let you know that, he doesn't care if you want to stay and all that. But hey, do comedians go far?
They go far. I think they do. But if I were to judge what happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock, so for me, I want to believe that he was protecting his wife.
Yep.
He had to do that to protect her sensitivity because obviously she wasn't having it. Right? She wasn't having it at all. But, going that far, I don't want to excuse going that far to hit someone,
Yeah.
that's where, so it was more of reactive than responsive, so that I would say he wouldn't have.
What do you think I would have done in that situation?
I know you now, Collins. I know you well. You're gonna beat the head. The head. I know. I know you're gonna
I don't
do
like that. You're painting like a violent person.
No, you're not a violent person, but you don't mess with what you don't
Left
mess.
hand.
You don't mess with what you love. You don't mess with what you know is dear to your heart.
We open a ring there and we'll have a UFC fight. We'll have a UFC fight. We'll have a Dana come put the belt in our waist. If we do that in the presence. No, I know some comedians are listening and are waiting for that this. I want to see what you do. And when you are surprised, oh my shock, you're gone.
But what do you think?
What do you think?
You know that slap was a joke. Yeah, he didn't mean it. He was just joking. That's the way he's supposed to joke as well. Because you know how that woman has felt that her hair was falling off? Do you know the cry? Do you know the expenses? Do you know how she has been comforting her? Only for you to come out because you're a comedian.
Yeah.
And you're making fun of, they make fun of everything. Even here in Nigeria, they make fun of God, they make fun of Jesus, they make fun, if not because of the way Muslims protect their Muhammad, they would have made fun of everything. It's not right.
Yep.
So to me, that slap was a joke.
Was a joke, right?
Okay.
All right. Beloved Will Smith has set a whole new standard for what it means to protect and honor your wife.
Yep.
It says, be mindful, and in the midst of it, beloved Mr. Will Packer did an amazing, phenomenal job producing this year's Oscars. And he says, yes to the Wills. So in a way, you want to, look at it that, is it that it was scripted? Or not? Was it scripted? Was it that, let's do it this way so that people can see that there's still something ongoing with those Smiths, and so that people can also have a different mindset when it comes to protecting your wife?
Well, first of all, the particular announcement that Chris was going to make had to do the series or whatever this.
It had to do with a documentary.
It had to do with that kind of story. Being protecting a family, as it were. So you might want to think it's Hollywood, man. Anything is possible to Hollywood. Some people are still saying that it was acting because Chris, you saw Will walking up to you. You didn't move. Will gets there. The way we're describing the slap, it wasn't as solid as we're describing it in the real sense of it. It sounded, but it wasn't as solid. If you were really going to slap somebody in anger and you want to protect, it's not that kind of, that.
Anyway,
it's not a slap that you wave away. But
anyway,
some people are of the opinion that it could be acting. But whether acting or not, there was a slapper and a slappee.
Yeah, but
so
when he was to take. Accept his own award, he apologized. He gave a heartfelt apology. He was in tears, actually.
Yeah.
Apologizing for that. And he made reference to the fact that the role that won him the Oscar had to do with a father who was protective of his family, which was more or less what he did right there, protecting his wife.
That's
so
right.
if you want to look at the whole thing, maybe, was it that it was a flip of, was it a script, or he had to infuse that in his speech so that people can see that's the kind of person he is. And if you saw that movie where the King Richard, where he acted the father of the
Williams,
the Venice
Williams.
sisters, the Williams sisters. He put in his heart to it. It was more or less he was not acting, but it was real, you know. So.